studies butterflies. This is the biggest outbreak since 2005. The orange and black painted ladies are a bit smaller than monarchs. The painted ladies tend to migrate in waves, and some people say it is magical to see them at the peak of the migration.
Oh, is that beautiful? Boy, that gets you feeling like spring, doesn't it?
We just need them to migrate here.
Yes. Yeah, that is so pretty.
North.
Thank you for your help today.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Mark, hope you're feeling better. That'll do it for us today. News 3 at 5 starts right now.
Many counties in southern Wisconsin are experiencing flooding. We'll have team coverage from around the area.
A Fort Atkinson family is dealing with flooding, and they say the Wisconsin Department of Transportation is entirely to blame for their situation.
Plus, first responders and a Good Samaritan helped save a dog from some icy waters. We'll show you the rescue.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
Well, thanks for staying with us here on News 3 Now. Let's get a look at your first alert. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti on the weather patio.
Boy, we've had a little of everything today. We started out the day with some sunshine and mild conditions. You can see that a visible cloud track, and then right along a cold front, a band of thunderstorms developed and raced northeastward across southern Wisconsin and northern Illinois. You can see on Doppler track that line of storms now into Michigan and into Ohio, where severe thunderstorm watch is in effect. The severe weather threat was pretty much down to our south across northern Illinois, but we did have one isolated severe thunderstorm around Milton that produced some strong winds as it swept northeastward. But now you can see those storms well to our north and east. On the backside, snow still continuing to fall over western Minnesota. But across southern Wisconsin right now, just some light rain showers. We're not expecting much in the way of heavy rain, but the snow melt continues. Temperatures are still above freezing, even though they've dropped quite a bit. So a flood watch remains in effect through 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. High temperatures today ahead of the cold front. We're just about at 60 here in Madison. We hit 59. Temperatures were in the 60s to our south and to our east, but look at where the temperatures are now. We've dropped almost 20 degrees since that cold front came through, and temperatures are already in the upper 30s over southwestern Wisconsin. By tomorrow morning, temperatures will be down in the middle 30s. Rain showers could even mix with a few flakes of snow later tonight before ending tomorrow morning. Tomorrow will be a windy and colder day with a high temperature of 39, but we should start drying out and see a prolonged period of dry weather for much of next week. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
All right, Gary, thank you. And rising water levels are causing many businesses in the area to evacuate.
We have team coverage of flooding in Lafayette, Columbia, Rock, and Jefferson counties. Let's start with our Adam Duxter in Darlington. He joins us there live with the latest on the flooding situation in that community. Adam?
Well, Eric and Susan, I'm on Main Street in downtown Darlington, where rain is slowly continuing to fall and water levels along the Petonica River are slowly continuing to rise, up 13 feet over the last 48 hours and up to 17 feet total right now. And you can see the view down Main Street, but even if we swing over here to nearby Ann Street, it's going around these buildings as a whole, completely surrounding them. Again, it's slowly continuing to rise. Police Chief Jason King told me earlier today that the 17-foot mark is the highest they've seen in this community since the early 1990s, when it hit a total of 18 feet. And because this area is prone to flood, a lot of these businesses do have precautions put in place, like flood dams and things like that. And they did say when they first heard that this flooding was going to happen, they knew exactly what they needed to do.
The nice thing about this, if there is such a thing as a nice thing about this flood, is that it's not flash flooding. It's slowly going up, which means that we have time to respond and to get people where they need to be and get businesses and residents prepared and ready to evacuate if need be. But at this point, we haven't had to do much of that.
Kind of a surprise. Yesterday, the predictions were to kind of crest it around a safe level for the store, and so I didn't get so excited. When I got, and then I had to go all the way around to Mineral Point to get into town, and I could tell right away that we were in trouble.
And Police Chief Jason King did say that because so many of these businesses are prepared for this, that there hasn't been too much of damage so far. One thing he also did add is no one is in danger right now in terms of people in this community and their homes. Mostly this is precautionary, clearing this area out. But again, the Patonica River does continue to rise here in Darlington. We'll continue to monitor those levels as they do rise all night long.
Adam Duxter, live in Darlington. Adam, thank you.
As people in Lodi deal with the rushing water, they're also dealing with its impacts.
Police Chief Scott Klicko says the flooding led to several natural gas leaks downtown. Rose Schmidt is live on South Main Street, which is back open now after evacuations just a few hours ago. That's good news, Rose.
That's right. That's very good news. And the other good news is that any natural gas impacts will be minimal. That's because the natural gas and the power has been shut off for this entire city block here, the entire downtown area of Lodi. But we also have some bad news. As you can see, my hood is up. It's raining and flooding continues to be a concern here in Lodi. We're going to show you the Spring Creek here, which you can see continues to have rushing water. It actually reached its highest point today, setting a record of 8.6 feet. Now, firefighters and MG&E were called to South Main Street just before 1 today after a strong natural gas smell. The police chief says significant natural gas leaks were caused by furnaces going out in downtown businesses after water started seeping into the basements. The Spring Creek continues to rise due to rain and melting snow, and a number of businesses and homes have been sandbagging to divert the water away.
The water level's still coming up, but some of the other basements are actually getting more water in them. According to what the National Weather Service relayed to our emergency management in Columbia County, is that the ice dams down the creek farther, is what's causing the water to back up so far.
Lodi police are still asking for more volunteers to help sandbag at the city's utilities building on Water Street. And if your home has been impacted by flooding, you are encouraged to go to the American Red Cross's temporary shelter at Lodi Elementary School. And the police chief tells us that the gas leaks were actually caused at a building farther down here on South Main Street at a flower shop. We actually were there as the owner started to smell gas. You will hear from him on News 3 Now at 6. Back to you.
Flooding can really lead to all sorts of issues. Rose Schmidt, live in Lodi. Rose, thank you.
City crews in Madison say levels on Lakes Mendota and Monona have not risen to hazardous levels and are not expected to. Crews will continue to monitor the lake levels. However, city crews are clearing many of the city's 20,000 storm drains so melting snow can clear off the roads. Residents are being asked to check storm drains and clear them of any snow and ice. High water is also causing a lot of concern tonight in Edgerton.
Amy Reed joins us now from one of the spots residents can go if they want to keep their property safe. Amy?
Yeah, sorry, it's quite windy here, so if my hair gets in my face, that's why. We're at one of two places where Edgerton residents can come and get sand if they need. This is at the Newville Park and Ride. There's also a spot at the garage, the Public Works Department garage in town. Right now, water is getting higher along Sanders Creek that runs right through downtown. It's gone over the edges of the bank and has flooded the park and gone right up to Central Lutheran Church. Earlier today, the church called for volunteers to help sandbag to keep the water out, and within just an hour or so, it was done. Water is still creeping a little too close for comfort, and it's flooded Main Street, so crews have closed that off. Now, people we talked to here said that they haven't seen anything like this in years, and we'll continue to keep an eye on it, and later on at 6, we'll tell you how it's progressing.
All right, Amy Reed reporting on. Amy, thank you. And there are many roads closed, of course, due to all this flooding. Here's a partial list. In Adams County, parts of state highways 13, 82, and 21 are all closed. In Dodge County, Highway 68 closed in both directions near Fox Lake. In Iowa County, a part of Highway 191 is closed in both directions. Sauk County, Highway 154 between 136 and 23 closed because of flooding. We have a complete list of all the road closures. You can find that on our website, channel3000.com.
And as all of those live shots and our reporters have been showing you, a lot of homeowners in our area are dealing with flooding.
But one family just outside Fort Atkinson says the Wisconsin Department of Transportation is entirely to blame for their situation. Our Keely Arthur joins us now to explain. Keely?
Well, Dorian and Brian Marms have lived in their home for nearly 30 years. They say they didn't really have any issues with flooding until the DOT's roads project in 2012, and that the DOT will not right their wrong.
Yeah, I could put my boat in here. But this isn't a lake house. It's supposed to be a dry, grassy backyard.
Think I would have moved in here if I knew seen this?
Brian and wife Dorian Marms have lived here since 1991. They say the most severe flooding in the area happened in 2008, but their property was okay.
In 2008, we had the worst flood that Fort Atkinson ever had. And I had an old garage over there that had a couple inches of water in.
So how did a location that was pretty flood adverse turn into this? Marms blames a 2012 DOT project. He says the expansion of Highway 26 from 2 lanes to 4 increased runoff, and because of inadequate drainage, all the water goes straight to his house.
Nothing's stopping it. They just put culverts right in my land and said, the hell with it, let them flood out.
Marms claims the DOT has visited the property, even admitting there is a problem, but nothing has been fixed. Marms hired a lawyer, an extra expense, he says, on top of all of the damages.
New water heater, furnace man, electrician, plumber. I mean, thousands of dollars. It just took everything we had.
Add to that today's bill, only deepening Marms's DOT frustrations.
I think I talked to 4 different people, 2 this morning, and they all said they'll get back to me. I think I talked to 2 of them, different ones yesterday. Kept getting different names. They sent me to somebody else. They all said they'd get back to me. None of them did, you know. So, yeah, they don't care.
Now, a DOT spokesperson did get back to us, saying in a statement they have heard the Marms' concerns, but went on to say the highway was designed and constructed to meet current standards, pointing to widespread flooding as corresponding with those extreme weather events.
Keely Arthur reporting. Keely, thank you.
First responders and a Good Samaritan helped rescue a dog from the icy waters of the Yahara River in Monona this morning. The Monona Fire Department and police responded to the 600 block of Pirate Island for a report that a dog had fallen into the water and couldn't get out. Crews arrived and saw a woman in a kayak who was monitoring the dog's situation but was unable to reach it. Fire personnel were able to throw a safety rope to the kayaker and pull her up on the ice toward shore, and the dog was eventually reunited with its owner. The Fitchburg Police Department has released a sketch of a suspect who is accused of assaulting a woman at a Princeton Club parking lot. Police say the assault happened on March 5th at the location just off McKee Road. Officers say the suspect pushed a woman into her car and punched her several times. They say he took off running when she started to scream. Anyone with information is asked to call Fitchburg Police or Madison Area Crime Stoppers.
Police are looking into tips that a missing 2-year-old from Milwaukee could be in St. Cloud, Minnesota or Ann Arbor, Michigan. That girl's father, Darius Higgins, is accused of abducting her and killing her mother. He is now in custody. Higgins tentatively charged with first-degree intentional homicide, first-degree recklessly endangering safety, but that toddler, Noelani Robinson, is still missing. The FBI is now helping to locate Noelani and bring her home safely. 2
people were arrested after a physical disturbance that involved someone getting hit in the head with a frying pan. The 40-year-old man who lives on Georgiana Circle on Madison's east side told police that he allows neighborhood kids to come over and use his television and gaming equipment. He said he got angry after a 14-year-old boy got hold of his credit card and used it to buy video game content. He says he accidentally hit the teen in the face. The teen then told his family. His 15-year-old sister then went to the man's house and hit him in the head several times with a frying pan. The man and the 15-year-old girl were arrested and both are facing charges.
More to come on News 3 now. At 5 up next, the Republican-controlled Senate has voted to terminate President Trump's declaration of a national emergency along the U.S.-Mexico border. How senators from Wisconsin are responding.
A well-known actor pleads not guilty to 16 charges for allegedly staging a hate crime and lying to police about it.
Minor movement in Thursday trading on Wall Street. The Dow up marginally. The Nasdaq loses 12.5. The S&P 500 off 2.5. We'll be right back. President Trump confirms that he will veto the Senate-passed resolution to strike down his national emergency declaration.
The Senate vote came after a last-ditch effort by some Republicans on a compromise fell through. Senate Republicans and some Democrats argue that their support for the resolution is not about the border wall, but about the Constitution and the separation of powers. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says a veto will not be the end of the issue.
The president will first veto it. It goes to the House. He won't have the 2/3. But I believe the law allows us to bring it up every 6 months, and certainly we would intend to do that.
The legal scholars all say it's totally constitutional. They'll do a veto. It's not going to be overturned.
The White House is also facing legal challenges over the national emergency declaration. More than a dozen states, including Wisconsin, have joined together in one lawsuit calling the declaration unconstitutional. Other lawsuits have been filed by civil rights groups and landowners in Texas. Wisconsin senators are reacting to the Senate vote to terminate the president's declaration. Republican Senator Ron Johnson says today's vote will not fix any problem, but it does demonstrate whether a senator supports or opposes border security. I will always choose to support border and homeland security. Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin says our Constitution is very clear that Congress has the power of the purse, and President Trump can't just steal the purse and spend the money on whatever he wants. I support the Senate resolution of disapproval, and I voted to stand up for our Constitution and our American system of checks and balances.
Empire actor Jussie Smollett has pleaded not guilty to the charges accusing him of lying to police about being attacked in downtown Chicago. The 36-year-old actor's lawyer entered the plea on Smollett's behalf. He's charged with 16 counts of disorderly conduct. Prosecutors allege that he hired two friends to help stage an attack on him in downtown Chicago back in January. Smollett has denied staging that attack, maintains his innocence. Next court date scheduled for April 17th.
Let's get a check on the weather now. Gary is here in the studio. Things getting a little cooler tonight, Gary.
They are. We've had a cold front sweep through, and that has put an end to any severe weather threat that we have, but also should probably take care of most of the heavier precipitation chances. You can see how we had some sunshine this morning as we got what we call dry slotted. The jet stream was right overhead, and the air sank a little bit, cleared out the skies, allowed temperatures to get up close to 60 degrees. And then as the cold front came through, and now it's right on the front edge of these clouds here, you can see a little line of thunderstorms that kind of popped up and swept on through to the north and east. Did bring potential for some severe weather over southeastern Wisconsin. There was actually a tornado watch across parts of northern Illinois, but that threat has since ended. Now we're just down to a few scattered showers. So again, here's that line of showers and thunderstorms that swept on through. Now just a few scattered light showers to the west. Some snow across parts of Minnesota, still continuing to wind down there on the back edge of the storm. But at this point, it looks like the severe weather threat has ended. Still a flood watch in effect until 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Most of that is just from melting snow, as well as a little additional precipitation. But you can see the snow depth is really starting to go away, especially over the southern part of the state. Now, there's still a lot of snow around in the areas where it was piled up, when we were shoveling and when the snow plows came through. But generally, you have to get in the northern part of the state to see widespread snow coverage everywhere, and even that is eroding away very quickly. Still blizzard warnings over parts of western Minnesota and the eastern Dakotas. On the backside of the storm, winter weather advisories up into the UP of Michigan, and wind advisories have been pushed south of the Wisconsin-Illinois state line, still continue for the Chicago area through much of Iowa and Illinois for winds that could gust to 40 to 50 miles per hour. These are sustained winds, and you can see we're very close to the area of low pressure, which is located in northern Wisconsin. So the winds have picked up here, but out of the southwest, and that's actually the cold air wrapping around the storm. Notice on the backside of the storm, those are sustained winds with wind gusts right now to about 50 to almost 60 miles an hour over western Minnesota, and then some very strong winds across southern Wisconsin, or farther south of southern Wisconsin into northern Illinois. But notice the wind gusts are not as intense, at least across the areas that are closer to the area of low pressure. Temperatures, though, have really fallen quite a bit. We were at 59 for our high today. We're now at 40 degrees. You can see it's actually warmer in Green Bay than it is in Madison because the cold air is actually coming up from the southwest as it wraps around that storm system. The time lapse from the WISC sky cam showed that line of showers and thunderstorms coming on through. Now we're just down to the gray, cold clouds with a few scattered showers. That's the current view from the WISC sky cam, and you can see some drops of rain on the camera lens. The Platteville Queen Bee radio sky cam also getting some rain there, and the Edgewater sky cam in downtown Madison showing a few showers and still a little bit of ice on the southern end of Lake Mendota. As we check out the almanac for today, we hit 59 for a high. The low temperature is now the current reading of 40. We were in the mid to upper 40s to around 50 overnight. Rain showers still continue to fall. Dew point temperature at 35, but the winds are out of the southwest, bringing in the colder air. The storm system has lifted from Colorado and now is in northern portions of Wisconsin. The jet stream just kind of taking it northeastward, and you see how that cold front is kind of wrapped all the way around the storm system, bringing in air that's colder here than it is farther to the north and east into parts of upper Michigan. So our forecast includes skies that will be mostly cloudy. We do have that flood watch in effect until 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Look for cloudy skies tonight. Showers, maybe a couple of flakes of snow mixing in late with a low of 34. Tomorrow's high temperature, much colder, only at 39 degrees. Chance for a rain or snow shower in the morning and maybe a little sunshine later in the afternoon. On future track, you can see the shower chances, maybe mixing with a few flakes of snow toward morning. Lows in the mid-30s. Highs tomorrow only in the upper 30s. A little clearing in the afternoon. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy skies, temperatures in the mid-20s. And then for Saturday, look for partly sunny skies, high temperatures in the middle 30s. 10-day forecast. Notice no precipitation beginning basically from tomorrow afternoon all the way through next week. The next chance for showers and maybe a thunderstorm will be around Saturday of the following weekend. As we take a look at News 3 Now First Alert traffic, we'll see that things are actually pretty quiet on well, they were quiet a couple minutes ago on the Beltline. Now they've really started to pick up. That's the view from the DOT camera at Park Street and the Beltline. Traffic moving slowly in both directions, probably because the rain is coming through. Right now, delays start around eastbound on Monona Drive, going back to Verona Road. Westbound delays start around Todd Drive and go back to around John Nolan Drive. Right now, 33 minutes in the eastbound direction from University Avenue to the interstate, 21 minutes back in the westbound direction. If you're heading out of Madison, it's 27 minutes to Janesville on I-3990 from the Beltline, 17 minutes to Sauk City on US 12, and 19 minutes to Sun Prairie on US 151. That's your News 3 Now First Alert traffic.
All right, thank you, Gary.
Ahead at 5, cars will eventually drive themselves, but a new study shows most Americans aren't quite ready for that just yet. We'll have more after a short break. Automakers are trying to get self-driving cars ready for the road.
But many Americans aren't necessarily ready for them. Meg Oliver reports.
You're anxiously waiting for the self-driving cars.
You have to say, I'm a tech guy.
Engineer Tristan Carnera owns a Tesla. The autopilot feature allows the car to steer and brake by itself. Right now, it's about the closest thing on the market to a self-driving car. But his wife, Jacqueline, has reservations.
Jacqueline, what was it like the first time you tried the autopilot feature in here?
Was kind of scary.
It's a little scary. I bet it was unnerving.
Yes, yes.
A new AAA study reveals she's not alone. 71% of American drivers say they would be afraid to ride in a fully self-driving vehicle. One reason may be a number of high-profile autonomous vehicle accidents in the past year. But AAA believes that will change.
Our expectation is that the technology will improve over time, and as people see that technology is working, we're likely to gain more trust.
There's definitely a learning curve.
Tristan believes as more people experience the technology,
right now it's self-driving,
the more comfortable they'll be letting go of the wheel.
And it knows there's vehicles here, so it's going to keep its distance from them.
Do you trust it now?
A little bit, more like when he's in a car.
The technology is only going to accelerate. Several automakers and tech companies are planning to roll out autonomous vehicles in the coming years. Meg Oliver, CBS News, Union, New Jersey.
And stay with us. We'll have another check of your forecast in just a moment.
Here's a look at some of the stories we are working on tonight. The president's first veto is coming after 12 Republicans vote against his national emergency declaration. Gayle King has the first TV interview with Beto O'Rourke after he announces He's jumping in the 2020 race. We will have a portion of that. And New York's biggest mob hit in 3 decades. New details on what happened tonight on the CBS Evening News.
Things getting colder and drier.
Yeah, well, we got some showers out there, but it'll get drier by about this time tomorrow. You can see some light showers pushing on through, but temperatures down to 40 in Madison, so already in the 30s to our west.
All right, we'll have more updates in 30 minutes on News 3 now at 6. Stay tuned for the CBS Evening News.